At 2225 hours on the 28th of March 1941, HMS Greyhound's searchlight pierces the darkness. The beam catches Fiume. The Italian heavy cruiser materializes 3,800 yards ahead. She is brilliantly illuminated, every detail visible. Turrets, superstructure, crew on deck preparing towing cables. The searchlight locks on. The cruiser is frozen in the beam like a photograph. She is completely unprepared for battle. Her guns are trained fore and aft. Her crew is at towing stations. They have come to rescue crippled cruiser Polar. They expect no enemy. HMS Warspite opens fire. The 15-inch guns roar. The range is point blank for battleship engagement. The shells travel 1.4 seconds from gun to target. 5 salvos in 3 minutes. All 3 British battleships firing. Warspite, Valiant, Barham, 48 15-inch shells. The Italian cruisers disintegrate. Fiume is struck by at least 5 shells. Her magazines explode. Flames erupt from bow to stern. She lists heavily to starboard. Within minutes, she capsizes. Zara is struck by multiple shells. Her forward turrets are blown overboard. Her bridge is destroyed. Vice Admiral Carlo Cataneo dies instantly. The cruiser burns. She settles by the bow. At 2250, destroyer Vittorio Alfieri explodes. A shell has struck her magazine. She breaks in two. Destroyer Giosuè Carducci burns. British destroyers finish her with torpedoes. The action lasts 11 minutes. 3 Italian heavy cruisers and 2 destroyers are destroyed or crippled. British casualties are 0. This is the Battle of Cape Matapan, the last major fleet action in Royal Navy history, the most one-sided naval victory since Trafalgar, the night the Mediterranean changed. The battle begins March 27, 1941. Admiral Angelo Iachino commands Italian fleet. Battleship Vittorio Veneto, 45,000 tons, 9 15-inch guns, 30 knots, 6 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 13 destroyers, 22 warships total. The mission is Operation Gaudo, intercept British convoys between Alexandria and Greece, destroy transports carrying British troops, assert Italian control of eastern Mediterranean, show Germany that Italy can fight. But Germany has lied. Luftwaffe intelligence reports claim only 1 British battleship is operational. HMS Valiant supposedly damaged. HMS Warspite supposedly damaged. This is false. All 3 British battleships are operational. They are at Alexandria, ready to fight. German intelligence is wrong, or deliberately misleading. Either way, Iachino sails with incorrect information. He expects to face 1 battleship. He will face 3. Admiral Sir Andrew Brown Cunningham commands Mediterranean Fleet, known as ABC to his crews, aggressive, bold, experienced. At age 58, he is one of the Royal Navy's finest commanders. He has 3 Queen Elizabeth-class battleships, Warspite, Valiant, Barham, all World War I veterans, all modernized in the 1930s, all equipped with radar. Valiant has the newest radar. Warspite is flagship. She carries Cunningham. HMS Formidable provides air power. Fleet carrier, 23,000 tons, 36 aircraft. Fairey Albacore torpedo bombers, Fairey Fulmar fighters. Formidable replaced Illustrious. Illustrious was damaged by Luftwaffe bombs in January. Formidable arrived from Britain in March. She is new to the Mediterranean. Her crew is still training, but she is operational. She gives Cunningham striking power. The British have advantage Iachino lacks, ultra-intelligence. Bletchley Park has broken Italian naval codes. British cryptanalysts read Italian signals in real time. On March 25th, Mavis Beatty, working at Bletchley Park, decrypts Italian signal. Large Italian force will sortie March 27th. Destination Eastern Mediterranean. Mission attacking British convoys. The information is passed to Cunningham immediately. He has 3 days' warning. He positions his fleet to intercept. On March 27th at 0500 hours, Italian fleet departs Taranto. Iachino steams southeast. He expects to find British convoys south of Crete. His cruisers will sweep ahead. Vittorio Veneto will provide heavy gunfire support. His destroyers will screen. The plan is sound, but the British know he is coming. Cunningham has deployed Vice Admiral Henry Pridham Whipple with 4 light cruisers and 4 destroyers north of Crete. They are bait. Iachino will find them. He will pursue. Cunningham's battleships will close from the south. The Italians will be trapped. At 0630 hours, March 28th, Italian cruiser Trento spots British cruiser Orion. The trap is sprung. Pridham Whipple turns south. His cruisers steam at high speed. The Italians pursue. At 0812, Italian cruisers open fire. Range 24,000 yards. The British return fire. The range is extreme for both sides. Few hits are scored. But Pridham Whipple is accomplishing his mission. He is leading Iachino southeast, toward Cunningham's battleships. At 0855, Vittorio Veneto joins the action. Her 15-inch guns open fire at range 25,000 yards. The British cruisers are outgunned. They make smoke. They maneuver violently. The Italian shells fall close. Several near misses. No direct hits. At approximately 0900, Pridham Whipple breaks contact. He retreats behind smokescreen. Iachino orders pursuit. But something bothers him. Where are the British convoys? Where are the transports? His mission is destroying convoys. He has found only cruisers. Where is the rest of the British fleet? At approximately 1055, Formidable launches first airstrike. 6 Albacore torpedo bombers. 2 Fulmar fighters. They attack Vittorio Veneto. The battleship maneuvers violently. Her anti-aircraft guns fire continuously. All torpedoes miss. But Iachino now knows British carrier is nearby. This changes everything. Without air cover, Italian fleet is vulnerable. German air support has not appeared. Italian air support has not appeared. Iachino is exposed. He decides to withdraw. At approximately 1100 hours, he turns northwest. He heads for home. But Cunningham is closing. His 3 battleships steam at maximum speed. 22 knots. They are 65 miles south of Vittorio Veneto. Cunningham cannot catch the Italians. They are faster. He needs to slow them. He orders second airstrike. At approximately 1500 hours, Formidable launches second strike. 3 Albacores from Formidable, 2 Swordfish and 2 Albacores from Crete. 8 torpedo bombers total. They attack in waves. Vittorio Veneto maneuvers. The battleship zigzags. Her guns fire. Her escorts fire. The sky fills with anti-aircraft bursts. At 1519 hours, 1 torpedo strikes Vittorio Veneto's port quarter. The explosion is catastrophic. The torpedo hits below the waterline near the outer port propeller. The shaft tunnel floods. The engine room floods. 4,000 tons of water rush into the ship. She loses power. She stops dead in the water. She settles by the stern. Iachino believes his flagship is sinking. Damage control parties work frantically. They shore bulkheads. They pump water. They patch holes. By 1542, engines are restarted. Vittorio Veneto makes way at 16 knots. By 1600, she increases to 19 knots. She is damaged but mobile. Iachino continues northwest. He must reach Italian air cover before dark. He must escape Cunningham's battleships. At approximately 1915, Formidable launches third strike. 6 Albacores, 4 Swordfish, 10 torpedo bombers. This is the final effort. Darkness is falling. The strike attacks at twilight. Vittorio Veneto is surrounded by escorts. The destroyers and cruisers throw up intense anti-aircraft fire. Most torpedoes miss, but at approximately 1940, heavy cruiser Polar is struck. 1 torpedo hits starboard side. The explosion destroys her engine room. She loses all power. She goes dead in the water. She cannot move. She cannot steer. She is helpless. Iachino does not know Polar is crippled. Radio communications are confused. Night has fallen. Visibility is near zero. At approximately 2010, Iachino receives report. Pola is stopped. She requires assistance. Iachino faces decision: continue to safety with main force, or send ships back to rescue Pola. He chooses rescue. He orders Vice Admiral Carlo Cataneo to return with cruisers Zara and Fiume. Destroyers Vittorio Alfieri, Giosuè Carducci, Oriani, and Carducci will escort. They will take Pola in tow, bring her home. This is fatal decision. Cunningham knows Italian ship has been crippled. British aircraft report the hit. Cunningham does not know which ship. He assumes it is Vittorio Veneto. He believes the battleship is stopped. He orders his fleet to close at maximum speed. He will engage at night. The Royal Navy trains for night action. The Italians do not. Cunningham has radar. The Italians do not. Cunningham has experience. The Italians do not. He will use every advantage. At 2220, Valiant's radar detects large ship dead in the water. Range 6 miles. The contact is Pola. She sits helpless. But Cunningham's lookouts spot another contact. 2 large ships approaching from the northwest. Moving at high speed. Range 3 miles. These are Zara and Fiume. They are coming to rescue Pola. They do not know British battleships are present. Their crews are at rescue stations, not battle stations. Their guns are trained fore and aft. They are unprepared. At 2225, destroyer Greyhound illuminates Fiume with searchlight. The cruiser is frozen in the beam. Warspite opens fire. Range 3,800 yards, point blank for battleship guns. The 15-inch shells leave the barrels at 2,550 feet per second. Flight time 1.4 seconds. The shells strike Fiumes before the Italians react. 5 salvos, 3 minutes. The cruiser is destroyed. Her magazines explode. She capsizes. She sinks at 2230. Zara is struck simultaneously. Multiple 15-inch shells. Her forward turrets are blown away. Her bridge is destroyed. Vice Admiral Cataneo dies. The crew panics. Fire spreads. The cruiser lists. She burns through the night. British destroyers finish her with torpedoes at 0340. She sinks with most of her crew. Destroyer Vittorio Alfieri explodes at 2250. A 15-inch shell strikes her magazine. The destroyer breaks in two. She sinks within minutes. Destroyer Giosuè Carducci is hit by multiple shells. She burns. British destroyers close. They finish her with torpedoes. She sinks at approximately 0200. Pola sits through the night, dead in the water. Her crew realizes they are surrounded by British ships. Flares illuminate the scene. British destroyers approach. At 0300, destroyer Jervis comes alongside. Commander Philip Mack orders Pola's crew to abandon ship. The Italians comply. No resistance. They know they are beaten. British sailors help Italian sailors onto Jervis. Approximately 258 men are rescued. The remainder abandon ship into the water. Jervis backs away. Torpedoes are fired. Pola sinks at approximately 0400. By dawn, March 29th, the action is over. 3 Italian heavy cruisers sunk. Zara, Fiume, Pola, 2 destroyers sunk. Vittorio Alfieri, Giosuè Carducci, 2,303 Italian sailors dead. Over 1,000 rescued by British ships. Vice Admiral Cataneo dead. Iachino's fleet withdraws to Italy. Vittorio Veneto reaches Taranto. She is damaged but survives. British casualties are negligible. 1 albacore lost to anti-aircraft fire during afternoon strikes. 3 crew dead. No ships damaged, no surface casualties. This is most one-sided major naval engagement since Trafalgar. The comparison is deliberate. The British invoke Trafalgar immediately. Cape Matapan is greatest Royal Navy victory since Nelson. Cunningham is compared to Nelson. The victory is celebrated throughout Britain. The strategic consequences are profound. Italian fleet withdraws to coastal waters. Never again ventures into eastern Mediterranean. British supply lines to Greece and Crete are secured. German forces cannot interdict. Rommel in North Africa faces supply difficulties. British submarines and aircraft attack Italian convoys from Malta. Italian Navy cannot provide adequate escort. The Mediterranean balance shifts decisively to Britain, but the psychological impact matters more. Italian Navy loses confidence. Supermarina becomes cautious, risk-averse, unwilling to commit capital ships. 3 heavy cruisers lost in 11 minutes without inflicting damage. The humiliation is complete. Italian morale collapses. The navy that was supposed to dominate Mediterranean becomes prisoner in its own ports. This was Mussolini's Mare Nostrum, our sea. Now it belongs to Britain. The technical factors explain the outcome. Radar gave British decisive advantage. Valiant's radar tracked Italian ships through darkness. British gunnery directors calculated range and bearing continuously. Italian ships had no radar. They relied on visual sighting. In darkness, they were blind. When searchlights illuminated them, they were helpless. No time to react. No chance to fight back. Training mattered. Royal Navy practiced night action. Cunningham insisted on it. His crews drilled repeatedly. They knew procedures. They executed flawlessly. Italians never trained for night combat. Their doctrine assumed daylight actions. When forced to fight at night, they were unprepared. Their crews panicked. Their ships were destroyed. Air power mattered. Formidable strikes slowed Vittorio Veneto, crippled Pola, created opportunity for night action. Without carrier aircraft, Cunningham could not have caught the Italians. The old battleships were too slow. Airstrikes brought enemy within range. Italian Navy had no carrier, no integral air support. German air support never appeared. Italian air support bombed their own ships. The lack of effective air cover doomed Italian fleet. Command decisions mattered. Iachino's choice to send Cataneo back was fatal. Zara and Fiume were sacrificed to save Pola. All 3 were lost. Better decision was abandon Pola. Save the mobile units. Iachino did not know British battleships were nearby. He believed risk was acceptable. He was wrong. Cunningham's decision to pursue at night was brilliant, aggressive, risky, but calculated. He knew his advantages. He exploited them perfectly. Intelligence mattered most. Ultra gave Cunningham 3 days' warning. He positioned forces to intercept. He knew Italian strength. He knew Italian intentions. Iachino had no intelligence. He believed British had 1 battleship. He faced 3. He believed no carrier was present. Formidable attacked him repeatedly. He sailed blind. Cunningham sailed informed. This asymmetry determined outcome. After Matapan, Cunningham visited Bletchley Park. He personally thanked the codebreakers. Mavis Beatty remembered his words. "You won us a great victory in the Mediterranean. It is entirely due to you." This was rare acknowledgement. Codebreakers were never told how their work was used. Security demanded silence. Matapan was exception. Cunningham broke protocol. He wanted them to know. Their work mattered. They saved lives. They won battles. The controversy continues in Italy. Why did Iachino send Cataneo back? Why sacrifice 3 cruisers to save 1? Italian naval historians debate this for decades. Some defend Iachino. He made reasonable decision with incomplete information. Rescuing disabled ships was standard procedure. Others condemn him. He should have abandoned Pola. Saving mobile units was more important than rescuing cripple. The debate is unresolved. What is clear is the decision cost Italy 3 cruisers and 2 destroyers. 1/3 of Italian heavy cruiser force, gone in 11 minutes. HMS Warspite fired the opening salvos. She was World War I veteran, commissioned 1915. She fought at Jutland. She was modernized 1934 to 1937. New engines, new boilers, additional armor, modern fire control. She emerged as most capable battleship in Mediterranean fleet. At Matapan, she proved her worth. Her 15-inch guns destroyed Fiume in 3 minutes. Her radar-directed gunnery was flawless. She was grand old lady, Queen Elizabeth class, 31,000 tons, 8 15-inch guns, 24 knots. She would survive World War II, fight in every theater, Atlantic, Mediterranean, Pacific. She would be scrapped 1948. But at Matapan she was magnificent. The Italian cruisers were beautiful ships, Zara class, 11,900 tons, 8 8-inch guns, 32 knots. They were fast, elegant, heavily armed, but lightly armored, belt 3.9 inches, deck 2.8 inches, turrets 5.9 inches, adequate against cruisers, inadequate against battleships. 15-inch shells penetrated easily. The Italian designers emphasized speed over protection. This philosophy worked in daylight against other cruisers. It failed at night against battleships. The night action lasted 11 minutes, from 2225 to 2236. 11 minutes of concentrated violence, 3 cruisers destroyed or crippled, 2 destroyers sunk, over 2,000 men dead. British fired approximately 215-inch shells. Approximately 40 struck Italian ships, 20% hit rate at night at ranges under 4,000 yards. This was exceptional gunnery. Radar direction, trained crews, surprise. The combination was devastating. Survivors were rescued through the night. British destroyers searched for men in water. Over 1,000 Italians were pulled from the sea. They were treated well, given food, medical attention, transported to Alexandria as prisoners. This was unusual. Most naval battles ended with survivors left in water. Weather was calm. British had time. Cunningham ordered rescue. This was humanity in war. Respect for brave enemy. Italian sailors fought with courage. They died with honor. They deserved rescue. The Battle of Cape Matapan was last major fleet action in Royal Navy history. Never again would British battleships fight enemy battle fleet in traditional engagement. The era of battleship warfare ended at Matapan. Air power and submarines would dominate future naval combat. But for one night in March 1941, battleships were supreme. 3 old ladies from World War I destroyed modern Italian cruisers in 11 minutes of perfect gunnery. It was swan song. Final demonstration that battleships, properly used, remained fearsome weapons. Then the era passed. Matapan was the end. On March 29, 1941, at dawn, Cunningham surveyed the scene. Debris floated everywhere. Bodies, wreckage, oil, the smell of burning fuel. His fleet had won decisive victory. 0 casualties, enemy destroyed. But there was no celebration on the bridge. War was not sport. Men had died. Good men. Brave men. Italian sailors who fought for their country. They deserved respect. Cunningham ordered continued rescue operations. He personally ensured Italian survivors received proper treatment. This was the Royal Navy tradition. Fight hard. Show mercy. That was Matapan. 11 minutes of violence, hours of rescue, respect for enemy, victory with honor. That was Andrew Cunningham. That was the Royal Navy. That was Cape Matapan, the night the Mediterranean changed.